lighter dumbbells, and then anywhere from 20 to 40 pounds, depending on just how strong you are and how much you can row, right? So we're going to be doing some of those today. If you don't have any dumbbells, just one mini band, one of these kind of medium-sized ones will do. And let's see. Just waiting for people to drop in here. There we go. Hey, good morning, Richard. As I was saying, if you missed it, you're going to need either one of these super bands, one of the smaller ones, or a small set and a medium set of dumbbells. If you don't have any of those things, I'll try to give some recommendations for some other things that you can do. But today we're going to really be working on pulling motions from the upper and lower body. One of the other things that we're going to focus on, since we're going to be heavily focused on a single leg RDL position, is really getting our hips to disassociate, especially here early on. And really all that means is trying to make sure that our hips are able to go in opposite directions, just like if you were running. That's important, especially as we're doing more sitting. Morning, Jesse. Morning, Amy. Janelle will be down here in a second. I can hear her getting ready. So all the drills here in the warm-up are going to be surrounded around kind of the rowing positions with the shoulder blades, and then trying to get our hips moving in different directions so that it's a little bit easier to do some of those single leg activities. You need either one of these super bands, a small set of dumbbells, or also a medium to heavy set of dumbbells will work too. Had to get a little bit creative. Good morning. Slept a lot better last night. Okay, so let's get into it. First exercise we're going to do, we're going to start, it's somewhere between a hamstring and a calf stretch depending on where you're tight. But we're going to start on our back. We're going to keep our lower back nice and flat to the floor as I push my feet and my heels especially into the ground. And then I'm going to straighten the leg before I bring it up. And I'm trying to pull my toe towards my face. So as I bring it up, I'm coming to the point where it feels real tight. And then we're going to do some pushing and pulling with the foot. Really trying to think about grabbing, making a fist with the foot, right? Kind of working through some muscles that might be a little bit tight, get into some ranges of motion that we don't typically always do with our feet. I found that my feet are pretty freaking weak, and I think that might be part of the reason I have such tight ankles. I might be strong in certain positions, but then I'm really weak in others, right? So trying to make sure we're hitting all the muscles through this lower part of the leg. I don't know, about 30 seconds, and then let's go ahead and switch sides. There's another set of super band that I really like, and it's the thicker one, like the green one that you would get at the gym, made for assisted pull-ups or like chaos push-ups or something like that. I've been using that on Dan's recommendation to do these ankle mobility drills, and I guess it more feels like strength training because I've got this resistance of the band, and it's helped my ankle mobility a lot. I'll make a video of that if anybody else is struggling with ankle mobility. Again here, really think about trying to make a fist with your toes and grab. Really open up these ankles so when we get to that single leg stability stuff, those ankles are ready. If you want to give it a couple of circles, that's good too. And then we're going to, while we're down here, we're going to do a couple more drills. So the next one we're going to do is one of my favorites, that Cook Bridge. Again, trying to disassociate the hips. And so I'm going to drive one heel into the ground. I'm pulling one knee to my chest. From here, you don't need to go up all the way. We're just bridging our hips off the ground, squeezing our butt and hamstring. Give it a 2 count. Come down nice and slow. Driving this knee towards my chest. Pulling my toes towards my face. Driving that heel through the ground. Squeeze your butt. You might feel that a little bit today after doing some of those split squat positions. My quads are a little tight. Nothing too crazy. Let's just go 8 on each side here. Squeeze. Down nice and slow. Squeeze. I think that's 6 for me. 7. 8. Squeeze. Good. Again, as we get stronger in this position, should be able to extend our hip more and more over time. Can you turn the other side? Again, you're going for 8. Driving that knee to the chest. Toes pulling towards the face. These are just good mechanics when we start, talking about doing things like, as we progress power with a lot of people, like skipping and marching, doing some of those other like sprint kind of warm-up drills. These become very handy, and these positions become good. You might feel like one side is a little bit harder than the other, and that's pretty normal. I feel like my left hamstring here wants to cramp a lot easier than my right. Let's knock out 8. Once we get through those, I'll give you a couple more seconds here to kind of finish those up, or just get a couple more if you'd like. We're going to go through some scap, just call them scap slides, I guess. You're going to stay on your back, both feet flat, lower back flat. From here, we're trying to make L's with our hands, our arms. We're going to push our elbows into the ground, keep our lower back flat. Now we're going to try and get our wrists back to the floor. If you can't get your wrists down, that's okay. Just work on creating as much tension here in your upper back as you can as you try to push your arms through the floor. Big exhale, let's make sure we're not letting those ribs flare up and getting into our back. Especially as we go into overhead activity, which we're not going to do today. We want to be able to keep our rib cage stacked on top of our pelvis so that we're not using our lower back, right? And then from here, you can start to work your hands up towards the ceiling, or towards the wall. Again, keep that tension downward through the floor. Really trying to open some things up here. You might feel a little stretch through the chest. Don't let that lower back come off the ground. Try and keep those ribs down. Reaching up, it's okay if your hands don't stay in contact with the floor. Just do your best. We're going to do somewhere between 5 and 8 of those slides. Sliding, pushing. Should have a lot of tension in that upper back here as we're opening up. Keeping those ribs down. Take some good breaths here, trying to get those abs on consciously. While you finish that up, here's the thicker band that I was talking about that we got. Just got it on Amazon. I'll go through an ankle mobility kind of routine that I've been working on. It helps a lot. Okay, finishing out those scapular slides, and now we're gonna get to stand it up here. So if you have a dowel or a foam roller, it's a good time to grab that. No. Actually, before we do that, go to the side. We're just going to do world's greatest stretch. So, starting in kneeling, bringing our hands down between our, with our feet. I'm still waking up this morning, sorry guys. Extending that back leg. From here, you're thinking about driving this front knee forward and driving that back heel back, because I want the hips to disassociate. You can turn sideways and you show. So from here, what I would cue Janelle to do is really think about pushing with the heel, and then think about pushing forward here with the knee. At the same time, you're going to get a better stretch. You're going to really open up those hips so that when we get into some of that single leg activity, should be a little bit better. Or if you're going to go for a run, well, look who it is. You're the world's Tasha. Good morning, Tasha. Yep, and then you can open up and add some rotation here too, getting that rib cage moving. You know, the big thing with a lot of these drills is, unless your sport requires you to be very rigid, we do want to be able to move and rotate, and we want our hips to be free so that when we go run or when we go do things, it doesn't look so labored. It should look pretty comfortable. That's what we're built to do, is walk and run. Everybody's got to do that. Good, try and straighten this leg out here. You're going to get a better stretch. Reaching that knee forward, reaching that heel back, staying that front heel. Really getting those hips moving. What did she say? Mr. and Mrs. Chow.
What?
Mr. and Mrs. Wolf here.
Oh yeah.
Morning, guys. Okay, so now we're gonna go to just doing some. You can use the roller or the
Pipe.
dowel or piping. Same idea with that world's greatest stretch. I'm gonna be bringing one knee up into as much flexion as I can as I use this other hand to balance with. I'm trying to drive this bottom foot through the ground as I squeeze my butt, so I'll do this sideways. A little bit of balance here. I decided not to wear shoes here for the warm up because I want to get a little more challenge in that balance. So I'm trying to really straighten my knee, squeeze my butt, bring this knee up as high as I can, right? Trying to really get the two moving in different directions. We're gonna go about 30 seconds. Keep that tension, keep driving that toe and heel. One of the main, I don't know, you can go ahead and switch. One of the main issues we see early on, especially with youth athletics, kids have a really hard time getting into these positions of getting their leg up and keeping their toe up and driving it towards their face. Because a lot of sports are very concentric oriented where you're kind of pushing off, shuffling. They don't really ever have to like control themselves. It depends on what sport. Most of the sports here that are popular, like soccer, basketball, baseball, it's very concentric motion. There's not a lot of eccentric. Kids get what? Volleyball. Kids get real tight ankles, a lot of jumping, right? They never really have to control themselves though. Is that 30 seconds? Yeah. Okay, now we're just gonna go without the single leg balance. Same idea. You're still thinking about trying to drive the knee up towards the toe and knee up towards the ceiling. But from here, we're just mostly trying to find balance. You don't have to go like as deep as you did with the roller, and then from here you're gonna try and close your eyes. Oh boy. You should feel pretty good challenge through, well, it's gonna kind of point out where you're weak, but for me, like definitely I feel that my ankle working real hard, which is a good thing. If you have a hard time feeling your hips, that might be part of the place where you start kind of folding and bending around, right? Gotta build those hips up. And go ahead and switch. So straight ahead. And then I'm gonna close my eyes. Woo! Trying to find. Again, you don't have to focus too much on this right leg driving towards the ceiling, although that's kind of bonus points. Just practicing here. Left side's a little tougher. Dang, look at you. Like a statue. Nice. Good. Cool. I don't know how you guys feeling. You feeling like getting warmed up here? I want to get into the workout because there's quite a bit of things we need to get through. So, first exercise, you're either going to use some small dumbbells or you're going to use one of your lighter super bands. So I'll have you start with the band pull apart. You're going to do 15 of those. If you don't have a band, but you do have the smaller dumbbells, we're going to do reverse fly. We'll use a couch or a chair. We're going to sit. We're going to bring chest to our legs, and then from here we're going to reverse fly for 15. So here. Squeeze. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. Nice. Yeah, getting those upper back muscles turning on. Okay, we're gonna slide this way so we have a good base here for our single leg RDL next. And so if you have sliders or if you have some hardwood floor where you can either use socks or like a towel, go for it. For the first round, we won't use weight unless you feel pretty confident in this movement. We're just gonna do body weight. That's that single leg RDL position. From here, I'm reaching back, letting my hands counterbalance me, and I should feel that tension through my hip, and then I'm using that to drive myself forward, right? Coming through, and then reaching back, using the floor to kind of help me balance a little bit, up and back with the hips, right? One of the ways people tend to struggle with this is that they use too much of a squatty knee. If you're using your knee too much and kind of squatting, feeling the quad a lot, go ahead and go up to a couch if it allows you to, and block your shin so that now you have to use the hip, right? Whether I'm practicing hinging with both legs or one leg, it's a good way to just kind of block you in a position where you have to use more of the hip. From here, my hips stay facing the ground all times. Try not to open up the hips here. There's a time for that, but it's not in this one. Here we're trying to be very stable. Boom, driving ourselves up. Sliding back. Boom, driving ourselves up. 8 to 10 on each side. Next round we can add a little bit of weight if we want to challenge. If there's one thing to guarantee to get my hamstrings and glutes sore is these single leg RDLs with some load. Every single time I will be crazy sore. We have that kabuki bar at Willow's, and Dan had me doing some of those, and my God, I think I was sore like later that day, which is rare. Finish out your reps. Once you get done, you're gonna want to grab your medium to heavier dumbbells. We're gonna do a chest supported row, same position as we did with the dumbbells there. If you don't have dumbbells, you can still do it with the band. So now go ahead and sit on your butt, and you can face your feet towards the wall this way. You're gonna wrap the band around your feet and go ahead and grab hold, and you're gonna do your rows from here. Squeeze. We're going for 15. Here. I'm gonna bend forward, and then I'm gonna do chest supported row from this position. Pretty challenging. Finish out your 15. You're welcome. Oh my God, you guys. You guys. Oh. Man. This will be fun. Okay, move your bells to the side. We got hamstring curls next. We're gonna have enough room here. From here, if you have that hardwood floor, it's a great option. If you have some sliders for carpet or some, I don't know, a piece of paper or something, that probably will do it. From here, we're going to bridge up. And then if it's pretty hard for you, or if your surface is very tough, you can do one leg at a time. Squeeze in, but definitely still trying to drive both heels down through the floor. Squeeze. Don't necessarily want to cramp, but I think rear stock's a little more slidey than that. You can demonstrate the both. Oh yeah. Nice. Those are tough. Oops. I'm gonna use the towels, I think. It's gonna give me some better results. We're only doing about 10 of these. So hips don't even have to go that high to really get the effect of those hamstrings doing a lot of the work, right? Okay. Okay, we're going back. Do you want to switch this time, or do you want to keep doing the band pull parts? Yeah, okay. Alright, taking our lighter dumbbells, going back to that supported chest position. Let's see, make sure I'm still in frame. Yeah, I'm mostly in frame. Going back to our reverse slide. So we're going to do band pull parts.
Oh.
15, right? little bit, try and find like that lighter to medium sized dumbbell. I'm gonna go with a 20 for now. See how that goes. From here we're shooting for 8 to 10 on each side.
So I should use a 30?
You can use a 30, go for it. Sometimes the counterbalance of the weight actually helps people stay in a better position. From here, push back, pull ourselves up. In control, loading that glute and hamstring, keeping our abs on, our spine nice and straight. Shouldn't be a lot of movement in our spine right now. That's pretty locked into place. While our hip does all the work, right? Just like that glute cook bridge, everything's coming from the hips. Ah, nice, that feels pretty good. I found that some clients have a leg that they feel less confident on, but if we work early on doing some of those drills where we're getting the hips moving in different directions, it tends to help. And sometimes I'll even throw those drills in the middle of our supersets just to give them a little bit of extra help with opening things up. Nice. Okay, now you can do that row.
Finally.
Alright, chest supported row. Finding that probably medium to heavy dumbbell. And on how strong you are, we are doing 15 reps, so it's bound to get a little bit challenging. Alright. Finish it up, going back to the hamstring curls here. I'm starting to sweat. From here you don't have to go very high, right? As long as the hips are off the floor, you should be able to get plenty of hamstring here as you extend. Pull it in. If you want a little bit of help to keep your hips up, go ahead and drive those hands down into the floor. One other variation you can do if you don't have the means to slide around is just elevate your heels up onto a couch and do bridges. It tends to get more of the hamstring. Let's take like a 30 seconds to a minute here. Gather. Gather ourselves, and we're going right back to those band pull aparts or reverse fly. Just got one more round of this stuff. This might be a pretty quick workout. What are we at on time? Yeah. I think this workout went only about 45 minutes last week. How you doing?
Good, I'm rested.
Alright. Back to it. Reverse fly. Last round here. Last round, then we get into a little bit of just getting our heart rate up here for a little bit. Kind of waking us up for the day. Nothing too crazy. Are any of you guys sore from yesterday? You don't have to answer that right away, but. $15. Oh man. Oh. single leg RDL, so if you really want to challenge yourself here, use some heavier weight. Oh my goodness, it's Alyssa Schultz.
What?
Oh man.
Hi, squeeze.
Last time, single leg RDL, let's do it. 8 to 10 on each side. Challenge myself here a little bit more. Try and get as strong as Janelle this morning.
No way.
Up and back with those hips. And we want that motion coming from the hip. Spine should be real locked into place here. Man, I'm glad I slept good last night. I didn't sleep so good the night before, and I was getting a little worried. This was gonna be harder. Oh, trying to look over. Catch your breath for a second. Get into those last chest supported rows. It's nice, huh? I feel like you did a decent workout with it. Alright, here we go. Alright, last time with those hamstring curls. Don't have to keep those hips off the ground very far for this to be effective. Oh. Alright, get some water once you're done. Take your time here. Got a little interval set up. It's a quick one. We're gonna go 3 movements. We'll do 45 seconds of work, 15 seconds of rest, 3 rounds, 3 exercises. First exercise, I'll just demonstrate here while you're resting up. First exercise, 45 seconds on each leg. It's going to be back from that single leg RDL position, boom, to knee drive. I did this last week. Focusing on staying balanced over this down leg, reaching back, boom. I rather think about being in control. Once you're in control, you can try and get as many reps as you can in the 45 seconds. Second one, can either do a jumping jack or a seal jack. Seal jack would be the more horizontal arm motion. Regular jumping jack. And then the last one is just it's like a ball slam. We call it breakdown. The thing we're looking for here is like breaking down into an athletic position. So my hands go up. When I come down, I'm actually going to come to the balls of my feet a little bit so that I'm ready to go in any direction, right? I can go here and go there. If I'm a linebacker and my feet are flat on the ground, probably not going to be as fast to the ball, right? So we're in that athletic position. Jump, ready to go in any direction. So here we're dropping down. We're actually trying to be pretty fast about it. All right, let's do it.
Aunt said her live feed keeps pausing.
Her what?
The live feed keeps pausing.
Oh, that sucks. I'll put it on later if you want to watch it too. So, all right, let's do this. Last one here.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Single leg RDL on the leg drive. Focus on your position. As you become more comfortable with this, you can start to speed it up. 45 seconds of work. Boom. Being powerful.
30. 15. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You're gonna get 15 seconds of rest. Then we're gonna switch legs.
Five, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Up. Get those arms going too, right? At about 90 degrees. That's how we would teach our running and sprinting drills. We don't want our hands all over the place, throwing us off balance. 90 to boom. Boom. Slow.
15. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Rest.
We either got a seal jack or we got jumping jack. Which one do you want to do?
Jumping.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Rest.
Last one is breaking into that athletic position, right? Hands up. We're trying to drop down. Just like we're throwing a ball at the ground.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
It's all right down. Ooh. Stay balanced. Try to stick it at the bottom. Stick it. He's getting tired. Alright, back to that single leg position.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
music recommendations?
30,
Disney.
No Disney. Start getting tired. Focus more on your form.
15,
Don't try to rush through it. Do a good job with these.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Rest.
Feel my butt.
Five, 4,
Back to those jacks.
2, 1.
Stay quiet.
15,
I can stay quiet. I'm twice as big as you.
You're not.
3 times as big as you.
Everybody's the same.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Rest.
Oh boy. Going back to those breakdowns or whatever you want to call them, drop downs.
5, 4, 3, 2,
Tall.
1.
It's like you're slamming a ball. Round. I know this workout wasn't as long, but I feel like it was pretty challenging.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Make sure that form looks good. I know you're getting tired, but don't cheat. Slow it down. It's not a race. We want to build good patterns here.
30, 15, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Whose painting is better? The bottom painting or the top painting? You're in the way.
Definitely the top.
Which one is better?
I think something is.
Did it stop? Alright, get going. What the heck? Not bad. That was my fault. Okay, once we finish this, I'll start the timer again. Call that 30 seconds.
Oh, Gugu's back.
What?
Gugu's back.
Hey, hey. Last two. Go on. Jumping jacks. Top. Top painting.
Oh.
Hey, what's up, Charlie? Okay, ready, guys? Here we go. Jumping jacks.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Nice and quiet for our neighbors. Oh my god.
I'm not that loud.
Pretty loud.
30,
Alright, we'll be quiet.
15, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Rest.
Last one.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Thirty, 15,
Come on.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Rest.
Oh man. Alright. So I mentioned, one second. So I mentioned, if you haven't already gotten the equipment, like today, I think all the dumbbells in the area are like sold out. But you should still be able to order some sort of super band from Amazon. Getting like a kind of a smaller one, like the red one there, and then a bigger one. Good idea. Assisted pull-ups, some ankle mobility stuff, even some stretches. You can use some of these bigger bands. Yeah. If you guys have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, tomorrow is more of a circuit where we're trying to get our heart rate up, keeping us moving, a lot of body weight stuff. I might modify it a little bit from last week, but just keep it interesting. But it was good. This was a quick workout, but got me sweating, so hopefully we did enough to get a little bit more tension in those rowing and pulling muscles. And yeah, I mean, that's it. So nice job today. Thanks for showing up. Hope you guys all have a good day over wherever you are. We've still got 3 people in here. So
What time is it in Singapore?
what time is it in Singapore? It's 10-second delay. Yeah, thumbs up, Jesse.
Jesse crushes it. Jesse, you should do your handstand hold since we're all warmed up.
She's like, God damn it, you know.
It's a max handstand hold for time.
Oh, jeez.
How long?
What's a good time?
I don't know.
I don't think your aunt is here anymore. Okay. Alright, guys. Have a good day. We'll catch you tomorrow morning.
Bye.
Bye.